So, I'm just going to go out and say it. My low is the fact that the Jets actually won. And spoiler, this video is going to be a very deep reasoning as to why I'm mad about that. But for better or for worse, I can definitely tell you that my high is with week 1 in the books, I can say that football's back. That's great. And honestly, I love how I can definitely be happy in the fact, like, with football being back, it feels like whatever I was missing is back. Like, football, if you're big enough of a football fan, then when football season ends, it's going to hurt you. Like, because, football season's over. And over time, you get used to it. But then, like, when football season comes back, you're like, I can't believe I missed that. So, I'm happy that football's back. And, you know what? That's not all. That's not the only reason why. That's not my only high. Actually, there's another reason why. There's another reason for a high that I have, but I think I'll save that for the end. Trust me, you're gonna want me to save that for the end. After what I'm about to unleash upon what happened last night. And my act of kindness was I did some errands for my grandma yesterday, as well as got my mom company as she because my dad has meetings for the parish in Corning, so mom and I were over for dinner. We had BLTs for dinner. I like BLTs. Hard to go wrong with BLT. So, well, if there's one good thing I can definitely take away regarding last night is if Aaron Rodgers is out, it gives my Cowboys in week 2 a chance to, really unleash upon them. Because I'm 100% sure that my Cowboys are going to be able to do what the Bills clearly could not do last night, which is take advantage of what's handed to you on a silver platter. It was 4 plays in, guys. 4 plays. After all the hell that both the Jets and the Packers went through for the Aaron Rodgers trade. And everyone's saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to change life in New York. Aaron Rodgers is going to, Super Bowl or bust. 4 plays in, and Aaron Rodgers gets injured. Via a sack that, in the grand scheme of things, compared to listen, you can get sacked in a lot of different ways in football. I've seen quarterbacks be outright smothered when it comes to getting sacked. Compared to that, Aaron Rodgers barely got touched. And it's likely that he hurt his Achilles. So that happens, I immediately start laughing my head off. Because, let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers, pardon the language, Aaron Rodgers is a douche. He is. I don't know how people even stand him. I mean, the only thing he's got going for him is that he knows how to throw the football. That's it. And you know what? Even Skip Bayless will tell you himself. I can tell you as a Cowboys fan myself. Aaron Rodgers' biggest wins in the playoffs came under really cheap circumstances. As a Cowboys fan, do I even need to bring up both the Dez Cotton game and the Mason Crosby miracle? So I'm not really a fan of Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong. I liked him when he beat the Steelers in that Super Bowl. Well over 13 years ago. But when Aaron Rodgers becomes a whiner and wants to leave Green Bay, and you have a Jets team that really all they need is a quarterback to contend for a Super Bowl. Like, here's the thing. I was worried a little bit, but I ultimately knew that the Bills really are the best team in the division. And last night, it really did look like they were showing it a little bit. I say a little bit because what happened last night actually happened. Aaron Rodgers gets injured 4 plays in. The entire morale of the Jets is probably shot beyond repair. This W should have been handed to the Bills on a silver platter. And you messed it up. How? Like, right now, Sean McDermott is getting ready to talk to the Bills this morning, or whenever they meet for practice. And he's going to be like, there is no way in hell we should have lost that game. No way in hell. I mean, he'll be able to explain why, and I'll be able to explain why. I hate to say it, but Josh Allen is one of the reasons why. For some odd reason, he went from being a top 5 quarterback to being one of the biggest turnover machines I've ever seen. You can't expect to win a game with, was it 4 turnovers that he had? I'll say 4. It was probably 3, but 4 sounds like a more appropriate number. Sorry, listen, at the end of the day, I am a Cowboys fan, so if it seems like I'm getting a little angry over a game that doesn't apply to me, I get it. But you have to understand, I live in upstate New York. I live in the heart of Bills territory. And the things they say about the Bills Mafia, being some of the rowdiest fans, but also being some of the kindest people, it's 100% true. So whenever the Bills lose a big game, especially like the one last night, I can't help but feel for him. So take that what you will. Listen, I still think that the Bills really are the best team in that division. I don't care what last night will tell you. I don't care what the Dolphins decimating the Chargers will say. The Bills really are the best team. Although, speaking of which, where was Von Miller? Like, Von Miller was the sole reason why I made that whole video about the things that the Bills have to do to win the Super Bowl. And it really looked like, I mean, think about it. That first game last year, the Bills beat the returning Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams 41-14, or something of that degree. And then you get what happened last night. Where's the disconnect? I mean, I shouldn't just say that. I mean, a lot of people are going to be asking the question, were the Jets really better than we thought? Or did the Jets win that game, or did the Bills lose that game? It really is more the Bills lost that game. For sure. Because while the Jets really, I'll admit that the Jets are better than they have been in previous years. And the fact they were able to capitalize on all of Josh Allen's turnovers is proof of that. But I really couldn't express enough just how much better their defense is. And they do have a good defense. I dare say it's top 5. But the one reason why everyone thought that the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl just got injured. He might actually be out for the entirety of the year. And you still can't win? That should have been the ball game right there. And I feel bad. I like Josh Allen, guys. Listen, Bills fans watching this, I want to make one thing clear. I do like the Bills. I may not be a fan like you guys are, but I do like the Bills. You couldn't put me on the Bills Mafia, but I do like the Bills. I like Josh Allen, I like Stephon Diggs, I love those guys. But if you can't beat the Jets without Aaron Rodgers on that team, I gotta say, guys, right now it's not looking like you do. It's looking like you don't even deserve to go to the playoffs. After what happened last night, it's looking like you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. And I know what keeps me from saying that completely outright is because it's only week 1. There are 16 more games that need to be played before anyone can pass judgment. But I tell you what, Bills, you can't have a game like what happened last night happen. You can't. That win was handed to you on a silver platter, and the waiter dropped the dish. That's what happened. And if you want to say that waiter was Josh Allen, I won't stop you. Although, me personally, from my eye test, it's more than just the fact that Josh Allen's turned the ball over. I hate to say it, guys, but ever since the Damar Hamlin incident last season, the Bills kind of lost their priorities a little bit. I mean, don't misunderstand me. What happened to Damar Hamlin was a tragedy. I don't wish that at anyone. And it is nothing short of a miracle that Damar Hamlin is alive today. In fact, it was great seeing him on TV last night, the times he was on TV. But it really does look as if the Bills themselves are still hung up on that incident. And the only way they're going to be able to win the way they should, they got to move on. They do. That's the only way they're going to win. The good news is, the next time the Jets play the Bills is going to be at Highmark Stadium. So, maybe the Bills can make something happen there. But I'm telling you guys, from what I saw last night, and again, if you can't beat a Jets that doesn't have Aaron Rodgers on it, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. And again, only one game, so maybe I'm being a little harsh. But stuff like that under normal circumstances is unforgivable. So, for now, I'm going to have to give that a pass. For now. Although, trust me, when my Cowboys play the Jets this upcoming week, we're going to do what the Bills should have done to a Jets team that does not have Aaron Rodgers on it. I can assure you what we will do to the Jets will not be remotely indicative of what the Bills just did. Guarantee that. So how about I end this video on a much lighter note? And why I have more than one reason for a high for the day. I couldn't tell you the last time that I was so happy that legit tears of joy were rolling down my face. But I suppose that is to be expected when one of your very best friends finally gets engaged. And I mean, there are no words. I could never express enough how happy I am for one of my best friends. Nor could I even find a word in the English language that could describe how incredible it is. But a bit of backstory, I met this person back when I was attorney balling. The very place that changed everything for me. And this person, along with the rest of my brothers, again, Trinity Paul's All Boys School, we call ourselves brothers. That's just what we do. Hashtag roll pride. They saved my life. And he was one of them. But more important than that, he was just the kind of guy who I kept in touch with over the years. And even through the greatest tragedy that I suffered, that we all suffered through attorney Polly. And trust me, I'll get into more of that when we get to December. To say that he was a leader that helped bring everybody together is a huge understatement. Because he was actually one of the prefects. They're basically one of the students that are advisees to the headmaster. And, he and the rest of the prefects brought everybody together. But what impressed me most is this guy really is one of the most optimistic and happy people I've ever known. While I admit I suffer from depression, I like to think I'm a pretty optimistic person in spite of that. I gotta take notes watching this guy. That's how optimistic he is. And I actually met his then girlfriend at my 10-year reunion at Trinity Poly. And she's one of the nicest people ever. And when I found out that they finally got engaged, I couldn't think of a more appropriate reaction for me other than to start crying tears of joy when it happened. So to one of my very best friends, congratulations. I couldn't be happier for you. Although, not to lead the witness, but every time I've been to a wedding that I cried at, the wedding was good. Just a little, I'd throw that out there. So, yeah. I feel better. I feel better talking about that. Although, that does remind me. I don't have time to turn on the computer. But at some point, I gotta make my overall picks record 6-10 after last night. No, focus on what I just talked about. Focus on my best friend getting engaged. That's the better thing. That's actually one important takeaway from it. So, congratulations to one of my very best friends. I am beyond humbled that I know this person, and that he is a part of my life. And I am hopeful that he spent yesterday, he and his now fiance spent yesterday celebrating with their family. That's what you should do. The wedding can come a little bit later, but I also hope that their special day is everything they wish for and more. And may you both, on the off chance I actually get to say any kind of speech at this wedding, I don't think it's going to ever happen. But if I did, I would say, may you both have the time of your lives for the rest of your lives. And to anyone else watching, if any of you are watching and if any of you guys want to talk, especially if you're a Bills Mafia person and you want to talk about last night, I'm always going to be here in the London ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.